mucho gusto. Mi nombre es Michael, el XRP Trucker. Acá, a punto de empezar a hacer billetico, este, cargado de huevo. Vamos a ver cómo nos va, chicos. Acá, a ver a mi YouTuber favorito, XRP Bags. Shout out to you, brother. Compró este camión, el otro, y los carros que logramos exportar. Shout out to you, brother. Bagman. Vamos a empezar con el show de, de él. Y nos fuimos, están hablando de la inflación de XRP, como no es igual que la de Bitcoin, y ¿cómo se llama? Y como va a subir el precio de la moneda, este, con cada transacción que sea utilizada, al igual que los del internet, HTTP, cada vez que hay una transacción de HTTP, es para verificar, pero no sube de precio. En cambio, el XRP sí va a subir de precio cada vez que eso suceda.
Imagine if you own part of the HTTP and every time the internet's used,
place here.
Hey, shout out to Backman, #1 creator out there. Thank you for the content throughout the years, brother. Thanks to you, I was able to buy my truck and a few cars and export my other truck. Making money right now with trucking. About to be retired in December, hopefully. And let's keep on investing.
In the United States.
imagine if you own part of the HTTP and every time the internet's used, you benefited from the network growing in value. Well, imagine if you owned XRP and the internet of value, every time the XRP ledger is used, you benefited from the network growing
Cada
in
vez que
value.
la ley sea utilizada, uno se beneficia con que el precio suba un poquitico. Son miles de transacciones que se van a mover aquí, millones de transacciones, millones de dólares, billones que va a mover esta plataforma.
Imagine if you actually did own part of HTTP, and if every time anyone in the world typed in any web address, you actually got
Cada vez que alguien ponga una billetera address
some sort of benefit from the network using HTTP increasing in value. I think that would probably be one of our most valuable commodities in the entire world right now if we had monetized HTTP. And that's the simplest example. There's dozens of these protocols that we use every single day. And this is exactly what we're building in the crypto space, is this set of protocols that are going to be able to be called computer to computer simply and easily. And we're going to need that when you think about what's coming with agentive AI and the speed at which transactions are going to be occurring. We do not have time for today's old-fashioned financial ecosystem that requires payments to move on one set of rails and assets and goods to move across different sets of rails, and all sorts of operational collateral and capital being put up to facilitate potential frictions.
Todo está siendo facilitado para la fricción, mucho más fácil, mucho más rápido. Si cada HTTP fuera pago, imagínense, si uno pudiera ser parte de ese sistema monetario, sería increíble, pero no es así, eso es gratis. Cambio, esto es el nuevo Internet del valor, donde las transacciones iban a acumular valor y van a ser rewarded, let's say. Va a subir el valor con cada transacción.
As we reconcile across all of those rails.
We got one from Ron Paul. We live in the empire of lies on steroids.
Truth is resented, and that's the position that the president's taken out. And the statement is truth is treason in an empire of lies. When things are built, the whole monetary system is a lie. And so, but they stretch it and do it, and then all of a sudden, the people who talked about less spending and less war, the president, he led the charge. Just about all those people that were on his side in the Congress, they switched the position to vote with Trump, even though it's based on dishonesty.
That's right, Dr. Paul. And as long as I have been, following you, which is decades now, you have told the truth. We live in an empire of lies, and we really, really do. And in fact, this president has made that glaring for everyone to see. I mean, politicians bend the truth. You expect it. Don't trust the politicians. It's expected. Fine. But this is another level. And it's not just Trump. It's his administration, Hegseth, Carolyn Levitt. I mean, what are you doing? but they're doing it. Everything is going so perfectly. But enough people know that it is not. It's the exact opposite. The government used to have a lock on information, how it was broadcast to people, whether it was the radios, the TV. There was 3 stations, and that's what they told you is what your neighbor saw and what your other neighbor saw and your teacher, and everybody was repeating the same thing. So it was effective, the lying then. But today, we don't live in that world. That world does exist. There are still people that watch the TV and believe what the Trump administration is saying, but they're now being marginalized. Everybody knows that this Iran war is a huge disaster. No matter how many tens of thousands of targets you hit, that's not the point. So these lies are so bad, and it reminded me of a quote that most people, I'm sure, have heard, and it was from the Soviet Union, a dissident of the Soviet Union, Alexander Solzhenitsyn. He said, "We know they are lying. They know they are lying. They know we know that they are lying." And Solzhenitsyn said, "But they are still lying." That is our world. That was the Soviets. This is what has become of America, and it's a shame.
Crypto in America, White House Crypto Council.
Noticias, todo el mundo nos miente, nos siguen mintiendo, el presidente nos sigue diciendo, pero bueno, sigue la gente dando atención a los noticieros normales y la cosa que no debería ser así para poder entrar a esas facilidades, para que uno no vaya a traer ningún tipo de contaminación a las gallinas. Aquí hay más de 2 millones de gallinas, 2 millones de huevos diarios. Hay que lavar el camión antes de entrar a estas facilidades y todo. Un camionado de puro maíz por cada silo de esos, 100 pesos por cada uno. Listo, nos vemos, chicos. ¿Siguen escuchando ahí?
Executive Director explains how the CEA report shaped stablecoin yield compromise.
Banks have been notably quiet since this report was released on Wednesday morning. What, if anything, have you heard from them privately, and would it have any effect on the status of negotiations at all?
The CEA report was actually something that we asked them to look into back in January when the markup came down. They took a considerable amount of time, did a lot of research looking into the issues, and really did a proper treatment, which is what we were hoping that they would do, so that there was just another group of PhDs, very smart people who understand economics at a much more profound level than I certainly do, and that I think the senators are comfortable dealing in, to look at the issue and see what their thought was. And so it came back. We had an opportunity to brief a lot of the senators on the findings in the report weeks ago, and that helped the discussions around the compromise on rewards and yield get to the place that they ultimately ended up. So not necessarily new information to the senators that are involved in working on that compromise, but good to have it out there publicly so that people can engage with it, and that there is just another independent view as to the issue at hand. People are obviously concerned on either side of it and advocating for their position, and I think this was just another helpful data point, objective view of the issue.
More crypto adoption, derivative markets, quadrillions in value, regulations, and clarity.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for having me here on the show. So I think what's really important to understand is that we are doing a limited pilot program that has important guardrails that are in place, because we've seen with the events that have happened on offshore exchanges that it's more important than ever that Americans deserve safe U.S. markets under U.S. regulations. So what we've done to structure this pilot program is that if you are using a CFTC broker, which is what are our Futures Commission merchants, those are registered by us, those are overseen by us and the National Futures Association, which is like FINRA, you will be able to use Bitcoin, Ether, and USDC to collateralize contracts that are denominated in those Bitcoin, Ether, or USDC. And it's basically in-kind collateral, so that's very limited in what you can do. You can't use it instead of cash, for example, but you can use it to collateralize those in-kind contracts. And then we are putting into place enhanced
just to be
monitoring.
clarified, it's in-kind, so Bitcoin for Bitcoin, or could it be Bitcoin for Ethereum?
Bitcoin for Bitcoin. So if you're going to settle in Bitcoin, it's denominated in Bitcoin, you can collateralize it with Bitcoin because it's the same way risk. And we have enhanced CFTC monitoring and reporting in place. So for 3 months, we are requiring that we not only get weekly position and asset class reporting, that's on top of the normal reporting that our exchanges do. But we are also asking for a reporting of any significant operational issues relating to that digital asset collateral. So again, this is a safe way to understand the technology, to understand the uses for these assets, but in a controlled way.
Chart nerd Franklin Templeton. Ripple, all roads lead to the bridge. 411, XRP. We got President Trump leaves his umbrella at the door. We're at the end. Truman Show, friends. Red, blue, and yellow. Superman. Colors. Truman Show. Trump. The end. And with that being said, David Schwartz, why does the blue thread lock come in a red tube and red thread lock come in a blue tube? That's not confusing at all. This is Loctite, and there's a Loctite 589 glitches 589. Lock it in, and the longer it takes, the higher we keep climbing on that XRP bridge list. Appreciate you.
No están inalcanzables, pero sí están un poco altas, como de $3,000. Por eso es que yo les estoy tratando de enseñar a ustedes, Claire, que apenas con $70 pueden tener más de 10,000 monedas. Sería un éxito tener unos 10,000 monedas para el futuro. Sería uno estar muy bien preparado para lo que va a suceder. Esa mi tata.
You stopping by, tuning in for another Moon O'Clock News Update. Good glitches. As always, check the links in the description. Smash the likes and subscribers on the way out to help boost those algos. We'll see you at the tippy top later. Glitches!
Imagine if you actually did own part of HTTP, and if every time anyone in the world typed in any web address, you actually got some sort of benefit from the network using HTTP increasing in value.
Truth is resented, and that.
Que la moneda suba de precio. Es exactamente lo que va a suceder. Cada vez que la moneda se utilice, sube un poquito de precio.
The position that the president's taken out, and the statement is truth is treason in an empire of lies. When things are built, the whole monetary system is a lie.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags and
And so the prime example is MicroStrategy, Bitcoin long company. And that's how we define phase one. Phase one is just simply acquire. Phase two is where it gets interesting. Now you're sitting on a lot of cryptos, billions, millions, and what do you do with them? And that's where Doppler gets very interesting, because we provide a venue for idle assets to finally put those assets into use. So
Tienen billones y están en movimiento y al fin están encontrando cómo utilizarlos.
That's what we describe phase two as, basically earn. And we see phase three as also very interesting, because that's basically where DATs could be headed. Doppler is at the forefront of talking to all the XRP treasuries right now. So we have lots of insights, and phase three is basically programmatic treasuries. Imagine there are policies in place and policies automatically executed on chain. And that's going to be quite interesting going forward.
Breaking the euro, stablecoin, tokenized gold, money market funds, all landing on the XRP ledger, the standard.
Being issued on the XRP ledger, as an example, the Euro CV by Societe Generale Forge that was recently announced, as well as Schumann Financial, who's one of, again, the leading euro-based stablecoins also issued on the XRP ledger. So I think this is a great direction that we're seeing. We're also seeing different types of more financial assets that are being tokenized. So from money market funds to all kinds of other assets. Just this morning, I had a meeting around tokenizing gold, potentially XRP ledger. Exactly, and where can this lead us? And if you can think of...
Potencialmente tokenizando de todo, hasta oro. Eso es lo que la gente no habla, que tiene que uno está loco, la gente está en la universidad para esto. Esto ya no es un scam, ya esto no es una teoría, ya esto es una realidad. El mundo está tokenizando, yo estoy estudiando para tokenización y quiero hacer tokenización en Costa Rica y en Estados Unidos acá, Dominican Republic y El Salvador, como se llama acá, tenemos también gente en Perú. Entonces tenemos gente en todo lado, real estate agents, y quieren backing con nosotros, vamos a ver cómo nos va con eso de la tokenización. Hasta el oro están tokenizando dentro de este país.
Think about it. I mean, again, some of the primitives. This morning I had a meeting around tokenizing gold, potentially XRP ledger. Exactly, and where can this lead us? And if you can think about it, I mean, again, some of the primitives that the XRP ledger enables you to do from one side, of course, is to tokenize an asset, making it much more digitized, much more fluid. You can also fragment it to enable different types of investors access to it. But now, today, also with the upcoming lending protocol, you can also enable different types of flexible models to generate yields on it. So in essence, the promise will be every asset can now be put into work, again, with the defined value chain and operating in partners that you set it to do. But the XRP ledger as being one of the key infrastructure to do so, with an ever-increasing list of more and more.
El XRP ledger con más potencial para poder crecer esto. Y además tiene todos los permisos a través de los bancos en más de 70 países, creo. Más de 200 y resto de instituciones ya, lacking, o sea, bancos con ellos. Japón, totalmente digital, fue el primero. 5 o 6 meses de que estoy hablando de esto. Han pasado más y más meses y nadie escucha. Hasta ahora, el 17, que no fue la Clarity Act, pero prácticamente que el Estados Unidos, Bolsa de Valores, anunció las nuevas 16 monedas que van a estar utilizándose en el stock de Reserva Federal de acá de este país, Estados Unidos. Nada Financial Advice, los chicos, si no pueden comprar ahí $130 en XRP, compren $70 en Claire, con más de 10,000 monedas, creo que son 100,000 monedas, una cosa así. No, 10,000 monedas, sí, que se necesitan para el futuro. Que tenga eso, va a ser parte del top 10. La cosa, tratar de enseñarles eso, la verdad. No me gusta estar diciendo eso porque es como si yo estuviera vendiendo algo. Yo no estoy vendiendo nada acá. Simplemente quiero que mis amigos tengan también monedas en el futuro para cuando todos tengamos mucho y no sabemos qué hacer con el dinero, todos tenemos que hacer un poquitico. Lo mismo que hablamos CryptoView y John Cana, de todo Adi, que se ocupa tener aunque sea ahí 100 de estas monedas. Imagínense nosotros con 100 monedas de Bitcoin en este momento, $1 billion, no estuviéramos acá. Hace 4 o 5 meses era más de 10 millones, 12 millones, punto y resto, y cayó a más del 50%. Ahí estaba hablando ese mae, creo que Cardano, ¿cómo es? Cardano no, que compró Bitcoin a $90,000 y en este momento está en pérdidas, con más de 80 millones, no sé cuánto.
Protocol upgrades and amendments that are coming exactly to meet these new, I would say, more sophisticated financial vehicles and instruments that are now being launched.
Also, a quick reminder, don't forget, free delivery week on your decent biometric hardware wallets on the double packing single.
Esas son las decent wallets, chicos, eso es lo que yo les enseño a ustedes. Centralizado desde el principio. Tal vez tengan que pagar un poquitico más a la hora de entrar, en vez de $4 o $8 en un exchange. Aquí tienes que pagar un poquito más, 20, comprando miles de dólares, tienes que pagar $80 por $2,000, $3,000, pero no importa, es descentralizada, no tienes que usar un exchange, no tienes que bajarte por un exchange, nadie sabe cuántos tienes, si las monedas llegan a valer un montón de plata, nadie sabe cuánto se tiene. Y cuando sea hora de sacar plata a esas billeteras, para que no sepan cuánto se tiene, usted pasa la plata a otra decentralized wallet y después saca a un exchange como Coinbase o ¿cómo se llama ese otro que es en Centroamérica? Binance es. Sí, Binance, sí. Eso es una billetera fría. Las que estaba anunciando CryptoView, quiero probarla, las Tangen también, pero esto es, como nos enseñaron al principio, aquí se puede comprar y creo que hasta se puede salir con un pay, pero no financial advice, no estoy seguro. Estoy seguro que a través de Coinbase es como yo me bajo personalmente cuando ocupo sacar plata, la saco de mi decentralized Coinbase, instantáneo, menos de 2 minutos y medio, 5 minutos, mi plata está en mi cuenta de banco.
Pack. Check the links in the description. Also, don't forget the extra discount get 10% off as well.
Back
Grant
man,
Cardone's
baby.
BTC
Thank you,
investment in the
brother.
red.
Cheers.
Cardone says he bought 2,000 BTC at an average price of 92,000, around 184 million, and currently down about 50.
Como le digo, este man es el que más retiraron. Escucho muchos youtubers, pero con 12 minutos al día, 12 minutos al día, me enseña lo que no tengo que ver durante horas con otra gente. Después podemos dig into it. Crypto máximo, a ver qué están hablando de Bitcoin y de H-Bar, que es la próxima moneda que vamos a anunciar en el TikTok. Hoy la voy a hacer, chicos. Tú que estaba slacking, estaba aprendiendo, estaba estudiando.
51 million, he's underwater, but what if BTC never recovers?
We bought 2,000 Bitcoin last year, and our average price is probably 92, somewhere between.
Around 184 million and currently down about 51 million. He's underwater, but what if BTC never recovers?
We bought 2,000 Bitcoin last year, and our average price is probably 92, somewhere between 88 and 92. So I'm underwater on the Bitcoin now, and it doesn't bother me at all because we tied it to a long-term asset. Now, if I believed Bitcoin was going to zero, I would have never done any of this.
Yeah. So you're just saying the difference in what you think of what you think the market price is of the property that you bought, and then what you actually paid for it. You put that delta in Bitcoin, basically.
The discount delta.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could take discounts your whole life. Discounts don't turn into more value.
Is the IRS now cracking down on crypto transactions? Here's what you need to know.
Starting with the 2025 tax year, custodial crypto platforms like Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, they're required to report their customers' activity directly to the IRS. This includes gross proceeds from all reportable sales or exchanges, aggregated reporting for certain stablecoin transactions, and even transactions that involve very small value things like gas fees. And most people use multiple wallets. They move assets between platforms, and the platform's going to have an incomplete cost basis. So the IRS might see a gain when you actually didn't have one. You were doing a transfer, Coinbase reported it as a sale. So there is a way to correct this on Form 8949, which shows your actual tax position, and you can update to your correct cost basis. So don't panic if the numbers don't match perfectly. What really matters is that your reporting is accurate and supported.
A National Cryptocurrency Association, crypto isn't just for pros or insiders. Who's being left out of crypto policy?
The NCA is apolitical. We are not a lobbying org. There's plenty of great organizations out there that are trying to shape the vote. We're not here for the crypto bros or the crypto pros. We're here for the newbies and the normies, the Joes.
A los pros, a los normies, que eso es una realidad, que eso no es ya un scam, que eso no es theory, como decían antes. Eso ya es una realidad, porque la gente está yendo a la universidad, los rieles de instituciones bancarias están siendo manejados a través de los rieles del XRP, duro de todo el dinero, de XRP Ledger, not financial advice, guys.
And the schmoes, like everybody who's sort of been left behind by the initial wave. And so part of that is...
Todo el mundo se quedó botado en la primera ola. Todo el mundo se quedó botado de Bitcoin. Nadie tuvo Bitcoin. A mí me ofrecieron Bitcoin a $200. Muchas veces, 4 o 5 semanas, vamos a pagarle Bitcoin. Y Michael no quiso hacer caso, nunca quiso aprender. Nunca fue a buscar en YouTube qué era Bitcoin para haber agarrado 10 millones, para haber agarrado 100 millones. Pero no, fuimos ignorantes en esos tiempos. Yo prometí que ya no iba a ser más ignorante. Ahora estoy estudiando y ahora estoy tratando de agarrar lo que ya perdí una vez. Lo agarraron una esta parte. Ahora en el 2025, ahora en la inauguración de Trump, logré subir y fue como evolucionamos ese camión y el otro y los carros. Cuando vamos para Costa Rica, y vamos para Costa Rica, baby, gracias a Blackman y XRP. Let's go. Pay attention. La gente que fue left behind, ¿verdad? No sean esa persona. Compre para que ustedes no sean left behind, como todos nosotros en el pasado, porque eso va a volver a suceder una vez más. Esto va a suceder, este es el reseteo global del financiamiento. Ayer Trump publicó que this is the biggest reset in history, el biggest reseteo en historia. So, y eso no va a volver a suceder hasta en 350, 300 años. Este va a ser el riel de todo el dinero durante los próximos muchos años.
Educating policymakers the same way we're educating everyday consumers and businesses. What we're doing is trying to surface the truth of this is Karen. She's a real crypto holder from Texas. It's not the hypey to the moon when Lambo bros. It's normal people that are using this tech in their everyday lives. What we're really trying to do is talk about, again, the simple, sometimes boring ways that normal people are using this technology to make their lives better.
We got one from Stellar. Privacy is the glass ceiling, and we're on a mission to shatter it.
The lack of privacy is a bit of a glass ceiling for the adoption of crypto these days.
When we start Stellar, XLM, también hay que tener un poquitico. Chica que tenga 10,000 monedas de XLM va a ser galáctico en el futuro. Y sí, todo el mundo que tenga 10,000 monedas de cualquier cosa va a ser galáctico en el futuro. Flare, $10, $70, con 10,000 monedas, ¿me entiendes? Para esta gente se necesita mucho más, creo que es como 4,000, si no me equivoco. Está a 40 centavos, 100 monedas serían 40, 1,000 serían 400, y como 4 caños, una hora así, pero no importa, aquí tenemos que hacer 100, que sea $40, meter ahí, para estar en la parte de la lista. Ellos también van a hacer la lista que vamos a hacer para XRP, XLM, HBAR. Voy a ver si la hago hoy, chicos. No he tenido tiempo, he estado haciendo plata.
Financial institutions, they make it very clear.
Privacy means something a bit different. Managing visibility, control. We want to see institutions doing payroll, can't do payroll without solving privacy. But we've been working on privacy in crypto in a very ideological, cypherpunk way.
CVEC no fue incluida en las 16, pero la vamos a incluir un día de esos. ¿Por qué? Porque CVEC es todos los pagos de toda la gente que trabaja en Estados Unidos va a ser paga a través de ADA o DAT, algo así, que es el que hace todo el payroll de los Estados Unidos para las compañías grandes y Banco de América. Todos esos pagos van a ser transactados a través de CVEC. Y CVEC no está en la lista de las 16, pero yo tengo un montón de CVEC y CVEC es súper fuerte. Ahora están hablando de XLM con esto, pero está más cara. CVEC vale pesetas, lo mismo que con Flare, pesetas, menos de $1 centavo por cada una. CVEC en este momento con también $70, recoge otras 10,000 monedas, 10,000 de CVEC, 10,000 de Flare, 200 monedas de XRP, 200 de HBAR. Sería un muy buen futuro para todos, ¿entiendes? Al menos nosotros, los hispanos, que no tenemos plata y que no sabemos lo que está sucediendo. Y va a suceder, por lo menos en 100 monedas, a $10,000 cada una. Ahí está su primer millón, ¿me entiendes? Y si tienen, lo más tengan, más rápido van a estar ahí.
In which we're promoting complete financial freedom, but for this next wave of adoption, we really need institutions. Our approach is very modular. It's really important for us to keep Stellar the L1 as open, neutral.
Pero como le digo, para pagos ya está así de, pues, igual hay que comprar todo esto. Pero si ponen atención al 10%, el 20% de la mierda que uno habla aquí, no van a saber qué hacer con el billete.
Cypherpunk way in which we're promoting complete financial freedom, but for this next wave of adoption, we really need institutions. Our approach is very modular. It's really important for us to keep Stellar the L1 as open, neutral, and transparent. It's very important for us to maintain these properties as we introduce privacy. For that, we launched protocol X-Ray a few months ago. X-Ray delivers a set of cryptographic primitives that allows you to build your own privacy protocol.
World's most powerful reset, President Donald Trump. Level playing field. Overnight, flip with a switch. XRP can be dirt cheap. The longer it takes, the higher we keep climbing on that XRP. Richless is a top 10% holder, now only 2,202.5 XRP, and only takes a small piece of the prize to take us to the promised land. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in for another Moon O'Clock News Update. Good glitches. As always, check the links in the description, and don't forget your free delivery week on your decent biometric wallets. Also, the additional bonus discount. Smash some likes and subscribers on the way out to help boost those algos. We'll see you at the tippy top later.
Glitches.
¿Qué nos vamos, chicos? Que se toma el medio gobierno. ¿Cómo se llama ese cabrón? Ya que estamos haciendo feo. XRP, Quant. Es que se dura hora y media. Por eso que no los quiero, porque eso son películas y van a decir que yo soy loco, man. Bank, Take, the Crypto, Solidify, XRP, XLM, Quant, Cam, and the Swift System. Vean, man, vamos a darle con este. Este salió hace 2 days ago. Yo estaba haciendo contenido en realidad, vamos a ver. 5 hours ago. Es el que estaba viendo en la mañana. Switch towards stock market and tokenization, lo mismo que estamos hablando. 23 minutos. Pero una cosa. Vamos a empezar con este.
Hello, everyone. We're back with Jesse of Apex Crypto Insights. We are going to solidify XRP, XLM, QNT, and even Canton with Swift with some real actual documents.
Vamos a solidificar a Canton, a XRP, a Swift y eso es brain blowing. Eso le revienta el cerebro a uno cuando uno escucha noticias de ese tipo. Significa que es demasiado grande la noticia, ¿no? Porque no entiende, trata de comunicarse un poco, trata de aprender algo, porque toda la infraestructura global del dinero está siendo cambiada en este momento, chicos.
You want to stick around to the end of this video, and if we have to earn your like, I think we will, because we'll provide you real research over fluff. So let's just jump right into it. We have this right here. And what is it all about? Well, basically, it is this document, and it's a profound document. I want to give a big shout out to the Jacobs found.
Shout out to Crypto Maximus, one of the greatest out here. He has a team. He's always with his 2 boys putting out the best content out here. It takes forever, you know, because it's too good while he digging in there. Dura uno 40 minutos o más por video, 1 hora. This is a short video, only 11 minutes. Let's watch him. Then we're going to do a 22-minute. And then it will be hours. I don't think you guys ready for this. But if y'all want to really learn, tienen que meterse en horas a escuchar esta mierda como vamos a hacer en este momento. Shout out to Crypto Maximus and Backman, digital asset investor. Thank you guys. That changed my life. You know? If it was for you guys, I won't be able to retire to Costa Rica. I won't have no digital assets. I won't have no XRP. When it hit on the inauguration of Trump, I wouldn't be able to buy this truck, the other truck, and the cars. Thank you guys.
Hello, everyone.
Tuvieron que utilizar una plataforma Ripple Partner, o sea, XRP Partner, se llama Bolt Pay. Yo lo subí en el TikTok. BOL Pay, BOL Pay, es una plataforma de una app donde Swift usa como mensaje cuánto se va a mandar. XRP ejecuta todo en menos de 3 segundos. Transacciones de un lado al otro terminan a través de XRP y XRPL, Ripple, y los créditos le quedarían todavía a Swift. Swift iba a quebrar una hora que XRP llegara a 14 millones. 14 trillion billones. E iba a quebrar totalmente lo que era el Swift System. Entonces tuvieron que afiliarse a The Greatest, a XRPL, y no se afiliaban a ellos, ellos iban a quebrar.
We're back with Jesse of Apex Crypto Insights. We are going to solidify XRP, XLM, QNT, and even Canton with Swift.
XRP, Swift, Canton Pay, todas las van a solidificar en una sola. Todo ya está sucediendo, pero nadie está hablando. Esta gente va y hace research de todo lado. Este man que está acá, Apex Crypto.
Some real actual documents. You want to stick around to the end of this video, and if we have to earn your like, I think we will, because we'll provide you real research over fluff. So let's just jump right into it. We have this right here. And what is it all about? Well, basically it is this document, and it's a profound document. I want to give a big shout out to the Jacobs family, okay? So what we have here is what? Onera, EY, Ernst & Young.
I'm sorry. I gotta look through real quick. This is the new flare. The new flare.
Mira cuántos pone la línea, 240, 127, 144, 176, 178, 180, 182, 154, 158, 200 puntos, 172, 266, 240. Mira cuántos puntos se van llevando ahí. Le damos tapa a la pantalla, comentamos la palabra saludo. Hoy nuevo, hoy nueva. Buenas tardes, todos los tardes y partidas, bienvenidos a la Medina. Saludos a todos. Los que ya me quedaron en el libro.
Un tipo cero normal, queriendo meterse, creo que este man es creo que este man es Salvador, primer Salvador.
Escucha que voy por ti. Desde el punto de Jefferson, escucha tu nombre que voy por ti. Buenas tardes, bienvenidos al envío. Y esto que hace el más de Jefferson, escucha que voy por ti. Moderadores, ahí te la mandé el mensaje, ahí usted el mensaje. Vámonos para allá atrás, mejor para Yael, vámonos para Yael, vámonos para Rivera Yael. Vámonos para Rivera. Vámonos para Rivera Cari, vámonos para Rivera Lucita, vámonos para Rivera Chaguito, vámonos para Rivera.
No,
Llámate invitación. Todos ustedes que tienen más, yo no te miento, mi amor, mira cuántos puntos te lleva Cari. ¿Cuántos puntos lleva Cari? Como 20. Acá 92, acá 158 acá, 128 acá, 128 acá, 132 acá, 74 acá.
Hogan Lovells. And
no nos interesa quién regala más, chicos. Al menos a mí no. Yo, mi canal es gratis. Yo no ocupo nada de nadie. Yo no quiero que nadie diga que se está pidiendo algo, ni un regalo, ni una rosa. A mí no me regalen ni mierda. Yo no ocupo nada de eso. Yo lo que quiero es que ustedes compren la rosa que me van a regalar a mí, que la compren en XRP. O que la compren en Flare para que llegue más largo su dinero. A mí no me regalen nada. Regalen a ustedes mismos una pistolita rosada o una galaxia en monedas en la billetera de Centralize. Como les digo, inviertan en ustedes mismos. Yo no quiero que me regalen rosas, yo no quiero que me regalen nada. Soy como Adi, saludos, bro. Adi siempre dice, a mí no me regalen nada. Adi no quiere que le regalen, pero ni un sombrerito, nada. Adi siempre dice, no me regalen nada, no me regalen nada. Ya entendí por qué es. Nosotros no queremos que nos regalen nada. Nosotros lo que queremos es que nuestra gente compre. Ya se le bajó un montón de gente del perfil. Nadie quiere escuchar esa vaina. ¿Quién regala más? ¿Quién regala más? No.
And this comes from Global Digital Finance. It's a 69-page document. We're not going to get into the whole thing, right? But again, I want to highlight that Ernst & Young, aka EY, Gilbert Verdine even worked for him years ago. We see here basically the case for collateral mobility in Europe and the UK using tokenized money market funds. Okay, I want you guys to see how we're going to break this down. So for one, they have all these tests for collateral and whatnot, but on the right side, it's the whole thing of the simulation from SWIFT to collateral settlement in seconds. As Jesse would say, oh, you don't say, right? Well, here's one of the highlights. Page 7 of 69, you see a whole slew of working groups and sandbox participants. Number one, Quant, okay? Number two, you see Fireblocks, and we'll share you a great example of Fireblocks. Obviously, CR3. You also see who? State Street. But what about the crypto ones? Stellar, okay? And you also see, obviously, Citi, who hosted the RLN, the RSN. You see BlackRock in the mix here. Always important to share some of these things. Now, before we kick it over to Jesse, I do want to share with you all some key things in regard to what? Well, the other big players. Some of the other big players we see listed on the list are the layer ones. We know that Quant has integration with Hyperledger Besu. In my opinion, QNT is the unofficial Hyperledger Besu token. QNT is basically Hyperledger token, period. Even Smoke literally quotes them as that. But you do see here on the layer ones, Canton Networks listed, Hedera's even listed, and boom, you have Stellar. Very important to share that. Now, as I jump up, I want you guys to see the whole thing of Swift, and here's why. So when we jump down here, Simulation 6, from Swift to collateral settlement in seconds, right? We've been there, kind of done that. What I really want to put focus on and have Jesse jump into here is what this actually does. This is a variation that extended the infrastructure to link legacy Swift based messages for margin management and fixed trading messages for repo. We share documents in regard to management and fixed trading messages for repo. We share documents. It is this document, and it's a profound document. I want to give a big shout out to the Jacobs family, okay? So what we have here is what? Onera, EY, aka Ernst & Young, Hogan Lovells, and this comes from Global Digital Finance. It's a 69-page document. We're not going to get into the whole thing, right? But again, I want to highlight that Ernst & Young, aka EY, Gilbert Verdine even worked for him years ago. We see here basically the case for collateral mobility in Europe and the UK using tokenized money market funds, okay? I want you guys to see how we're going to break this.
Tokenized market funds, tokenizado, market funds de plata que ha estado en el mercado. Prácticamente creo que los stocks son los que vamos a utilizar, por ejemplo, que se estaba poniendo.
down. So for one, they have all these tests for collateral and whatnot, but on the right side, it's the whole thing of the simulation from SWIFT to collateral settlement in seconds. As Jesse would say, oh, you don't say, right? Well, here's one of the highlights. Page 7 of 69, you see a whole slew of working groups and sandbox participants. Number one, Quant, okay? Number two, you see Fireblocks, and we'll share you a great example of Fireblocks. Obviously, CR3. You also see who? State Street. But what about the crypto ones? Stellar, okay? And you also see, obviously, Citi, who hosted the RLN and RSN. You see BlackRock in the mix here. Always important to share some of these things. Now, before we kick it over to Jesse, I do want to share with you all some key things in regard to what? Well, the other big players. Some of the other big players we see listed on the list are the layer ones. We know that Quant has integration with Hyperledger Besu. In my opinion, QNT is the unofficial Hyperledger Besu token. QNT is basically Hyperledger token, period. Even Smoke literally quotes them as that. But you do see here on the layer ones, Canton Networks list token, Ledger Besu.
Hyperledger está en ese momento como $66. Un peseta, van a comprar por un huevón. Eso de comprar $100. Es parte de Quant aparentemente. Pongan atención a eso porque si es parte de Quant, es huge. La moneda más cara del futuro del mundo va a ser Quant. XRP, te sigue por ahí. Supuestamente de Quant, la más valiosa de todas porque es la que verifica todo lo que sucede en el blockchain, pero si Hyperledger tiene ellos, va a ser más libre.
In my opinion, key players. Some of the other big players we see listed on the list are the layer ones. We know that Quant has integration with Hyperledger Besu. In my opinion, QNT is the unofficial Hyperledger Besu token. QNT is basically Hyperledger token, period. Even Smoke literally quotes them as that. But you do see here on the layer ones, Canton Networks listed, Hedera's even listed, and boom, you have Stellar. Very important to share that. Now, as I jump up, I want you guys to see the whole thing of Swift, and here's why. So when we jump down here, Simulation 6, from Swift to collateral settlement in seconds, right? We've been there, kind of done that. What I really want to put focus on and have Jesse jump into here is what this actually does. This is a variation that extended the infrastructure to link legacy Swift-based messages for margin management and fixed trading messages for repo. We shared documents in regard to Quant and like repo swaps, numerous other examples. But this is going to go into the collateral movements. This showed how systems can evolve by using, boom, interoperability routers to connect old and new systems together. The other area I want to jump down into is the illustrations here. So I'm going to blow this up a little bit more to make it easier for you guys to see, especially if you're watching from your phone or basically your television. We see here initial margin posted. We see 0 beta Swift. We have the collateral providers, Commerce Bank, and so on. Okay. And of course, we see the right side with a lot of this, especially when it comes to the orchestration. Here's an area I want you guys to put focus on. And by all means, we'll get some commentary from Jesse. The router is by Onera, which myself and Rue Black have covered a lot about. But the wallet is by Fireblocks. Now, Jesse, I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but if you go to the docs.overledger.dev, look what it says in regard to this. Overwallet provides a unified API for wallet services, regardless of the underlying blockchain network for custody. Essentially, Overwallet aims to achieve blockchain interoperability specific for transaction signing by allowing authorized to sign any transactions native data through a single API. This API interacts with either AWS, KMS, or Fireblocks, enabling authorized to manage multiple keys across various DLT assets on Quant Connect efficiently. Now, hear me out. Rue Black and I discovered that basically Fireblocks through Quant, right? So Quant is basically the master key for Fireblocks. How so? Well, it literally gives you an example. Overwallet has developed with inspiration with Fireblocks Direct Custodial Wallet, which is based on the hierarchical deterministic HD BIP 44 wallet infrastructure. While AWS KMS does not natively support HD wallets, Overwallet is designed to make AWS KMS function as if it does. To effectively use Overwallet, it is essential to understand the principle of that technical path. But when generating a key using Fireblocks, each asset on the mainnet has a unique derivation path. And again, Jesse, if we go back to this to see that the router's by Onera and the wallet's by Fireblocks, and you see all this orchestration with Swift, I think all the evidence is right there. Definitely want to get some of your thoughts on this, my friend.
This is all quant, and with the first page you showed where they were showing like the different use cases, there must have been like 50 use cases there, like liquidity management, tokenization, bond swaps. There are so many use cases, it's insane. And this is all quant, and they're talking about a sandbox, right? And if you look at so the BIS, the central banks for all central banks, literally when they did Project Rosalind, which was the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England and numerous commercial banks, and also about 40
BSI Bank, que es uno de los bancos más grandes del mundo, Repo Partner, también tienen más XRP que papel moneda, 1.6 billion creo que es, un trillion, en XRP y 1.2 en papel moneda, que es el Repo Partner, banco más grande del mundo, BSI Bank.
fintech companies or major corporations, literally they clearly said quant, and the BIS admitted that quant was literally the infrastructure layer for all of this.
Y que el BSI admitió que Quantum es el inference layer, que es el layer del medio para todo lo que es mensajería.
Not just one of the layers, not just maybe for a few use cases, but the actual infrastructure for MDApps as a prototype for other projects. So the sandbox here is quant. Quant's allowing, like you said, the whole legacy systems to connect to all the blockchains and all, like, it's interoperability for everything, right? It's quant.
Quant va a ser la moneda más cara del mundo es porque está conectando todos los layers de todos los blockchains. Todo está siendo conectado a través de Quant. Por eso que Quant va a ser la moneda más cara del mundo. Estos más son unos genios. Este man salió hace poco, escuchaba a Crypto Máximo, se hizo fan, ahora lo subieron, este man trabajaba no sé a dónde y tiene, me imagino que los insights de NFA, no estoy seguro, lo que dice ahí. Pero este man, desde que salió, ha sacado cada información y tiene un grupo de este muchacho, de Crypto Máximo y un moreno que hay ahí, todos están unos genios. Pero hacen videos y películas de 1 hora, por el resto, es increíble lo que uno puede ver con esta gente, pero ustedes no tienen tiempo para eso, nadie tiene tiempo para informarse, nadie quiere sacar el ratico para comunicarse y entender lo que está sucediendo. Yo es que tengo horas acá y prefiero escuchar eso que gente, ¿entiendes? Amo mi gente y todo, pero me estoy todo en modo learning. Ahorita pago esta hora, me subo con ellos a hablar paja un rato, pero primero lo primero, nos va a cambiar la vida.
The heart of this right here. Quant's that sandbox, and they're not going to have to pay for the licenses for Quant until they go live. So all the use cases you're seeing there, as soon as you start going live, that's when they'll have to pay Quant for the license, and Quant will literally lock up those QNTs. Well, sorry, they'll convert the fiat fee, they'll convert it to QNT and lock it up. But literally, they're going to go get it on the public exchanges. Maybe they'll get it from the over-the-counter, maybe, but my understanding is that Quant, for the most part, will be getting the QNT off the exchanges. They have partnerships with exchanges so that when the corporations and banks start paying for the licensing fees, Quant is literally going to go and have a use.
Bueno, ya eso sí es un problema, que tal vez Juan hasta las lleguen a sacar de los blockchains, exchanges, 1 hora que hagan contratos con toda la gente grande, quieren darles el efectivo, Juan coge el efectivo, lo locking en Quantum Coin y lo usan como las reservas. Pero si eso sucede, está hablando que tal vez no dejen como comprar la moneda o en los exchanges públicamente, cosa que no creo. Pero ahora que es tiempo hay que comprar ahora que se puede.
use that fiat, that fee that was paid in fiat, and they're literally going to go buy QNT off the markets and lock it up in the treasury for a year. And so there were so many things there, millions of use cases. I'm just looking at my notes, talking about connecting old systems to new systems. That's Quant. Onera and Fireblocks, we've already proved that that was pretty much Quant. They talk about Quant authorize. It's Quant. Literally, it's Quant. And then R3. Well, what does R3 use for settlement? R3 Corda uses the R3 Corda settler that exclusively uses XRP for settlement, for liquidity. It's not the same as XDC. XDCs are different thing. But R3, the core.
Quiero eso y quiero vender ese carro también. Quiero vender los dos carros. Quiero vender todo, man. No, pero sí, que pues no, ya se la peló, ¿entiendes? Ya está como Alex, está como todo el mundo, que son gente que no les comunica, que no estudian, no nada. Por algo están las universidades enseñando blockchain, por algo están enseñando tokenización, ya eso no es una teoría como antes, ya eso es una realidad. Y solo los que entendieron la realidad, los que están estudiando y los que van a ser parte de la nueva financial shift, van a ser parte de los más millonarios del planeta. No es que quiera ser parte de los más millonarios, solamente quiero 1 millón por cada 1.000 monedas, pero sí, ya eso no es una conspiración como antes, que, uy, ¿será que algún día XRP va a subir? ¿Será que algún día? No, no es que algún día. Ya está sucediendo, ya todos los bancos están aquí. Si usted va a ver el video que yo estoy viendo en la historia, vaya a la historia del YouTube channel de nosotros. Ahí estoy yo viendo este man. Cómo Swift iba a quebrar y XRP llegaba a 14 trillones. Ya Swift se hizo partner de Bolt. Están hablando de eso, pero eso se lo digo yo porque ya yo se lo publiqué. Y es como están utilizando el XRP Ledger para poder transactar todas las transacciones de Swift. O sea que Swift no se va a ir a bancarrota gracias a XRP, gracias a Bolt Pay. Bolt es un partner, Ripple partner. Y ahorita están hablando de Quant, XLM y XRP, que son todas una sola juntas, y como Canton Pay, también otra aplicación que hay, como el Swift, todas están involucradas en lo mismo. Y como Quantum es el layer del medio de todos los blockchain y todo. Quantum es el Quantum Computer, ¿entiendes? Que puede ver cualquier cosa, hackear cualquier cosa, es más inteligente que cualquier cosa. Esa es Quantum Computer la que comunica todos los blockchains de un lado al otro, desde Layer 1 hasta Layer 3. Que es donde estamos en este momento, la fase que estamos en este momento, adopción de bancos, adopción de todo va a ser manejado a través del XRPL, casi que ya no, es que no es ni conspirativo, ya, aquí están, usted ve la noticia de lo que yo estoy viendo en este momento, vaya al historial, son 11 minutos. Son 11 minutos el video, y estoy viendo este porque lo estoy live streaming, pero si no, estuviera viendo otro de Ori Resto. Dale. Hora y 20, estoy en la choza. Sí, no. Aquí venimos al suave. Ahí venimos también al suave. Hay que echar. Sí llega, pero ahora en New Jersey he hecho que sale más barato. Yo ocupo ir al banco a sacar cash para poder meter a la tarjeta de cash para poderme mover muy duro. O sea, que tenga la tarjeta nueva. Okay. No, yo ahorita llego, como le digo, cojo el carro y me voy para el banco, saco cash, lo deposito en la tarjeta y le mando plata a usted. No creo que hoy eche dice, la verdad, es de mañana. ¿El qué?
Corda settler that R3 uses, you might as well call it the XRP settler because it uses XRP for settlement. So even though they don't mention Ripple there, of course they don't. Why? Why? Because the internet value, right? And we have Citi in there Citi was the first one to ever mention the regulated liability network. Actually, they called it the regulated Internet of Value, but they changed the name real quick because everybody knows that's Ripple. But we see Citi, we see R3, we see State Street Bank, or we see a bunch of banks that are all partnered with Ripple. They're all there. So you don't have to mention Ripple. I don't care if they don't mention Ripple or XRP in the document there to try to hide it from us. But Ripple's all over this at the same time. But they're not going to mention Ripple, of course. That's all I got to say on this one. Little rant, mini rant.
Well, in some future videos, they're going to literally mention Ripple. Yes, Swift, like a fat kid on cake, like a Augustine Karstens on cake. Okay? So listen, guys, we have a bombshell to release in the next video that's going to solidify some things. How would you like to see Gilbert Verdian and a person from Ripple, right, sharing the same stage in an interview? We haven't seen that maybe ever, right? We've seen examples. So you definitely want to tune into that video. And if anything, if you listen to the entire outline, do us a solid and simply type in this key phrase into the comments, and that is Apex Goat Jesse.
Oh, no.
Because he is. Yes, you are. All over Paul Barron Network.
Crazy.
All over. He's all over Verson's channel. Black Swan Capitalist. Man, this guy getting invites left and right. And apparently, I don't know if you want to disclose it. You've been you're going to go over to XRP Vegas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to do a Paul Barron interview there. It's awesome. I'm going to be in Paul Barron again in a few days, guys. So keep an eye open for that one. It usually only airs 4 or 5 days after. I love Paul Barron. Super, super awesome guy. Yeah, lots of stuff coming. Thanks so much, Max. So Max is awesome, but he's crazy. Jesse's not a goat.
No. Well, anyway, there's actually a lot of goats in the space, right? So anyway,
thank you,
guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate you guys. We're just trying to keep this one kind of brief. I know, kind of crazy to see us under 15 minutes, right? But nonetheless, we brought you the receipts. Quant and all the rest are really doing some big things. Look out for some more material from myself and Jesse. As the saying goes, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. May the Lord Jesus bless you all. We truly mean that. We'll see you in the next video. Over now.
See you guys.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. It's just a few taps. You can manage, track, and secure your crypto. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
Okay, guys, it was a pleasure. I'll see you guys later. We're done with the stream for today. Much love. Pay attention. If that caught 10% of everything that we say in here, 10% will change your life and all of your family's life. No, ya yo terminé aquí el live streaming. Ya yo terminé. Ya yo voy a cerrar el live aquí. Pero deben coger el 10% de lo que dieron o lo que quitaron. Es suficiente como para estar en la lista de los wealthy.